There's a place in the Pacific where time seems to pause, and the outside world is little more than a rumor. In this land, women drift through emerald jungles, their bodies brushed with sacred ash, their eyes half hidden as behind feathers and gentle curls of smoke. Here, a single glance can be a ritual, and beauty is more than just appearance. It's a language shaped by generations. Men are shaped by the trials of ancient custom. Women, by a strength that rarely speaks but always endures. There are no cities here, no neon lights, only the tangled heart of the forest. And in that green maze, hundreds of tribes, each with their own words, their own secrets, and their own way of living with desire. Some say these tribes keep traditions the modern world will never understand. Others claim to have witnessed them with their own eyes. This is Papua New Guinea, and what you're about to discover may change how you see beauty, mystery, and relationships forever. Welcome to exotic worlds. Deep within the jungles of Papua New Guinea, there are places where outsiders rarely step, and where life is shaped by traditions older than memory. Here, hundreds of tribes exist, each with their own language, customs, and sense of identity. Some villages are little more than clusters of thatched roofs hidden under the shadows of giant trees. Others are marked by sacred stones or fields where rituals unfold at dawn. The most striking sights often come during tribal festivals, when entire communities gather to celebrate, compete, and tell their stories. Men and women adorn their bodies with bright pigments, ochre reds, stark whites, and jet black, drawn from the earth. Faces are transformed with intricate patterns, and hair is woven with feathers, leaves, and even the bones of birds. For the Huli wigman, giant ceremonial wigs are grown over years, shaped by patience and pride, then decorated with colorful plumes for the world to see. In these moments, the boundary between daily life and the sacred becomes blurred. Every brush stroke of paint, every strand of grass carries meaning, announcing lineage, bravery, or even the hope for a good harvest. For outsiders, these ceremonies feel like glimpses into another reality, where every movement is a message and every color tells a story. Some tribes believe that these rituals protect their people from illness or misfortune. Others see them as a way to connect with ancestors or to invite blessings from the spirits believed to live in the rivers, the mountains, and the deepest forests. In Papua New Guinea, tradition is not just remembered. It's worn on the skin, carried in the walk, and passed down with every heartbeat. In the deepest valleys and across windswept ridges, there are people who've lived the same way for centuries. Papua New Guinea is home to over 800 tribes, not just villages, tribes, each with its own language, its own spiritual beliefs, its own way of decorating the body and the spirit. In the highlands, the hula wig men rise before dawn. They paint their faces in yellow and red, wear ceremonial wigs made from their own hair, carefully shaped over months in silence. For them, beauty is a sign of power, and the body is a message. Elsewhere, women cover themselves in ash and clay. Their bodies become canvases for tradition, chalky white with streaks of charcoal, wrapped in leaves, beads, and feathers. It's not just decoration, it's history. Each line has significance. Each feather tells a story of birth, of status, of coming of age. Some paint themselves to mourn, others to celebrate, and some simply to affirm their identity within the forest. Young people allow their skin to be marked in ceremonial shapes, a symbol of belonging and transformation. To outsiders, it may seem unusual, but here, endurance is respected as a rite of passage. In the Sepik River region, carvings recount stories no book ever captured. Wooden totems stand above spirit houses, large hand-built sanctuaries where ancient chants echo in the dark. These tribes are deeply connected to the land, but their rituals feel like echoes from another era. The land itself shapes every life in Papua New Guinea. Jagged mountains slice through thick jungle, and deep valleys hide villages unreachable by road. Some places have never seen the glow of an electric light, nor the trace of a paved path. Here, distance is measured in days, sometimes weeks, of travel on foot. This extreme isolation isn't just a challenge. It's the reason so many ancient ways have survived. Rivers twist through shadowy canyons, acting as highways for dugout canoes and floating markets. But just as often, they act as barriers, dividing people and preserving languages that exist nowhere else on Earth. High above, clouds drift over mountain ridges that locals say are haunted by spirits. In the lowlands, the air is thick with heat, and the rainforest hides both danger and beauty in equal measure. Villages can sit just a few miles apart, and yet remain worlds away, each with its own traditions, dances, and beliefs. Even the outside world has struggled to enter these forests. Missionaries, explorers, and scientists have tried for decades to map every corner, but there are always places left unvisited, stories left untold. For many tribes, this isolation is not a prison, but a shield, a way to protect their customs from change, and to keep the forest's secrets alive. In Papua New Guinea, the land is not just a backdrop, it's a living force, shaping every story, every ritual, and every bond that ties the people together. In Papua New Guinea, beauty is not a universal standard. It's a patchwork of customs, passed down from mother to daughter, father to son, each tribe shaping its own ideals. In certain communities, a slender nose bone or a curved shell through the septum is a mark of elegance, not just identity. Earlobes stretched wide with polished discs, necklaces made from pig tusks, and bracelets carved from turtle shell. Each carries meaning. Each is worn with pride. For women, beauty can mean covering the skin in creamy clay, layering strands of beads, or weaving leaves into hair for a festival night. In the Sepik River region, skin is a canvas. What the outside world might call unusual is here a badge of belonging. From the way a woman ties her grass skirt to the bright feathers in a child's hair, every detail sends a message about family, history, and hope. Beauty in Papua New Guinea isn't about standing out. It's about fitting in, carrying on tradition, honoring ancestors, and shining in a way only your tribe understands. In the Sepik River region, entire houses are built for the spirits. Massive house tambaran, or spirit houses, rise from the jungle floor, decorated with eyes, mouths, and symbols that seem to watch every move. Inside, nothing is random. Bones, bones, feathers, ashes, every object holds meaning. And in the darkness of those temples, villagers still whisper to ancestors, ask for visions, and make offerings for guidance and well-being. Here, the line between the living and the departed is believed to be thin. A bad dream can be seen as a sign. A stranger's compliment can be viewed with caution. Amulets tied with twine. Pig bones worn as necklaces. Charcoal smeared across the forehead to confuse jealous spirits. Sometimes, silence is the best protection, because in Papua New Guinea, the invisible is never far. And the importance of these beliefs is deeply woven into daily life. In Papua New Guinea, beauty isn't bought, it's created. Layer by layer, line by line, applied to the skin, woven into hair, etched in symbolic marks. Across the highlands, Hulu women paint their faces in deep reds and earthy yellows, adorning their heads with feathers and flowers from sacred trees. Their beauty is not just about appearance, it's about strength and cultural pride. In some tribes, the more clay a woman wears, the more respected she is. Their skin becomes pale with ash, their eyes lunade with coal, and beneath it all, their presence and grace communicate much more than words. But beauty here is not for mirrors. It's for the spirits, for the community, and for the dances where tradition and celebration meet. In the Eastern tribes, young women join courtship festivals where gestures are more expressive than voices. A glance, a movement, a message sent through body paint and rhythm. Some wear short traditional skirts, allowing for freedom of movement during dances. And in the way they move when the drums start, tradition is brought to life. Eyes meet in the firelight, and sometimes words aren't needed. There are no pickup lines, just rhythm and tradition. For those who watch, it's mesmerizing. For those who know, it's sacred. Because here, beauty is not only about attraction, it's about connection to the body, the land, and the story expressed in movement. Not everything in Papua New Guinea's history is easy to talk about. Some chapters were marked by rituals and ceremonies that are rarely discussed today. Long before missionaries arrived, before maps, before roads, the highlands were governed by traditional justice. In certain remote regions, justice was managed within the tribe. Retribution didn't come through courts. It came through ceremonies, exile, and practices that are now fading into legend. Elders whisper of rivals who disappeared, of ancestral remains kept in hidden caves, of sacred feasts honoring those who passed. These were not considered crimes at the time. They were believed to be part of spiritual exchange with the other world, always conducted with deep meaning. Today, these stories are slowly fading. Some say they were exaggerated. Others say they were misunderstood. But the memories linger. In mountain caves, travelers still find ancestral bones, arranged in ceremonial patterns, decorated with ochre and feathers. They're not relics, they're reminders. And in some villages, people still move with a certain respect for the past, as if the land remembers what happened, even if no one speaks of it anymore. Now, modern Papua New Guinea moves forward. But in the forests, where no lights shine, the past still feels a present. It's as if it watches and protects. Papua New Guinea is not only wild because of its people, it's wild because of the land itself. This country breathes through volcanoes. It pulses with earthquakes. And deep in its veins, rivers flow through jungles that no satellite has fully mapped. Here, mountains rise dramatically out of the sea. Jagged peaks, mist-covered ridges, and cliffs that vanish into clouds before you can see their end. In the north, Mount Tavorvur can erupt with little warning, an active volcano sending ash for miles and covering villages in silence. Below it, ancient lava beds rest beneath the soil, black, cracked, and still warm underfoot. The Sepik River, long and winding, is more than water. It's a symbol of life. And for the tribes that live along its banks, it's the place where legends are born. Along its edge, you'll find spirit houses carved with fantastical creatures, half crocodile, half man, with wide, watchful eyes and carved smiles. In the eastern islands, coral atolls rise from the ocean like ancient guardians. And in the highlands, rain can fall sideways, winds roar without warning, and the sun sometimes disappears for days. Papua New Guinea doesn't just challenge explorers, it transforms them. There are no easy roads, no shortcuts, only routes, cliffs, rivers, and quiet. Maybe that's why so many traditions have survived, because the land makes it possible. In Papua New Guinea, identity isn't hidden, It's celebrated every year. Deep in the highlands or along the Sepik's winding path, tribes emerge from their forest sanctuaries to dance, to paint, to transform. They gather for the Sing-Sings, huge festivals where hundreds of tribes meet not to fight, but to share their culture, to display who they are. Feathers become language. Paint becomes pride. Bodies, glowing, adorned, become symbols of strength, of heritage, of community. At the Mount Hagen Show, or the Goroka Festival, men wear towering headdresses made of paradise bird feathers. Their chests shine with oil. Their legs are wrapped in grass or bark. They move with a rhythm that draws every eye. Women join as well, faces brushed in ash or ochre, wearing intricate beadwork and skirts that sway like waves in the wind. Their dances are captivating. Each movement means something. Each step is believed to speak to the spirits and to those watching. Here, there is no shame in the body, no fear in skin, because in these rituals, the body is celebrated. Movement is a form of offering. Some celebrations bless marriages. Others call for rain. Some are meant to honor the ancestors. And a few are simply for the joy of community. Every drumbeat, every cry, every turn in the dust reminds the world this is not a land of the past. This is a land that remembers itself. In the cities of Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby, Leh, Madang, love appears differently. Tribal laws may echo in the hills, but here, things are changing. Smartphones buzz with quiet conversations. Dating apps move discreetly across screens. And in shaded cafes, young couples sit closer than tradition used to allow. But love here is still careful. In many families, marriage remains an arrangement, a bride price agreed upon in pigs, shells, or kina. Family reputation matters. Public affection? Still rare, still met with caution. But privately, lives are changing. Travelers often arrive curious, drawn by the mystery of the jungle and by cultures they are just beginning to understand. To some, local women appear reserved, wrapped in custom, but others, bold, confident, educated, fluent in many languages, and comfortable with the modern world. For travelers, these encounters can feel like small adventures, moments shared between cultures, a smile across a market stall, a dance that lasts late into the night, a glance that says more than words. Still, stories continue. Stories of outsiders who find new lives in the jungle, who adapt to tribal ways, and stories of others who don't stay, overwhelmed by the richness of the culture. Papua New Guinea doesn't offer love for sale, but it certainly has a way of sparking fascination, with painted faces, subtle glances, and customs shaped by centuries. Relationships here are quiet. Tradition is ever present, and the past lives on through the people. Papua New Guinea is not a postcard. It's a living world. It's not made just to be seen. It's made to be felt. In the beat of the drums, in the rustle of feathers, from fireside rituals to dances beneath the rain, to eyes that seem to understand more than they reveal. This place does not reveal itself easily, but once it does, it stays with you. So now we ask you, would you step into a land where the past still breathes in every tradition? Drop your answer in the comments. We're reading. If this world left you inspired, don't just watch. Subscribe, because Exotic Worlds is only just beginning.